wasn't able to win that same way because she started to play more aggressive, go for her shots a little bit more. So I wasn't too disappointed in myself. I just wish I made the adjustment a little bit quicker. Maybe it would have saved a little bit of future gray hairs or something.
While the mainstream media attempted to downplay the news regarding the world's number 4, Coco Gauff, and her sudden physical struggle on the court, the truth was already spreading. An earth-shattering statement has just surfaced, effectively setting the entire power structure of the Women's Tennis Association ablaze. After being systematically outclassed by the Philippines' own Eala in a performance that can only be described as terrifyingly clinical, Gauff didn't just walk away. She delivered a brutal reality check that has left the American tennis establishment in a state of absolute shock. Reports are surfacing that Gauff, while reeling from a frightening nerve injury that felt like explosions going off inside her arm, made a deeply vulnerable admission. Behind closed doors, she reportedly confessed a heartbreaking truth to her coaching team that she had been holding inside. She admitted that she is simply not on the same level as her opponent right now, stating that Eala is essentially playing a different sport altogether. The harsh reality is that Eala didn't just win due to an injury retirement. She was completely commanding every single baseline rally long before the physical breakdown occurred. Leading 6-2-2-0 in less than 1 hour of play, the momentum was undeniably and entirely on her side. Alex was generating incredible spin and an almost impossible first serve percentage that left a Grand Slam champion looking utterly lost and helpless. The overwhelming aura inside the stadium was so powerful that it shattered Gauff's concentration well before the injury reached its peak. The digital explosion on social media has already surpassed 600 million impressions as fans from Manila to California join the conversation. They are celebrating the realization that Eala is no longer just a rising star. She has become the new standard for the elite players of the world. Even the billionaire owner of the tournament, Larry Ellison, was seen looking completely astounded by the spectacle unfolding before him. He stood stunned by the deafening roar of the Pinoy army, who have effectively transformed the California desert into a home territory for the Philippines. Yet, the most intense moment of this entire confrontation was a brief 10-second exchange at the net that the main cameras almost missed. As Coco Gauff tearfully apologized for her inability to finish the match, the response she received was anything but ordinary. Eala didn't just offer a standard handshake. She delivered a profound vow of respect that has deeply touched the hearts of the global audience. Alex reportedly leaned in and whispered to Gauff that she was the very reason she started playing, urging the champion to recover quickly. This powerful act of sportsmanship has completely ruined the plans of corporate interests who wanted to manufacture a toxic rivalry between the two. Instead of a bitter feud, a new bond has been formed that transcends the commercial side of the game. The leadership of the tennis world is now struggling because they cannot suppress the rise of a young woman with the strength of a dragon and the heart of a queen. Within the exclusive player lounges, the psychological impact of this event is being felt like a seismic shift. The top 10 stars are reportedly feeling the pressure because the data shows that Eala is a massive problem for which there is no easy solution. One veteran analyst was overheard saying that facing Alex in her current form is like trying to survive a hurricane without any shelter. The massive wave of information suggests that the establishment is frustrated because the pride of the Philippines has become the most powerful force in the sport. We are no longer just watching a simple tennis match. We are witnessing the beginning of a new era. We are witnessing a national coronation that has officially and completely seized the throne of the tennis world. The medical and financial foundations of the Indian Wells tournament have been entirely upended in the shadows of this historic confrontation. While the global media machine remains in a state of panic over Coco Gauff's admission that she is not at Eala's level, a major update has surfaced. A highly sensitive medical report has allegedly been leaked from the inner circle of the Eisenhower Medical Center. The massive wave of information suggests that Gauff's emergency magnetic resonance imaging results revealed intense nerve compression in her left arm. This is a condition that her own medical team is now characterizing as a total physical shutdown of the limb. This collapse was reportedly triggered by the extreme physiological stress of trying to defend against the explosive heavy spin generated by Alex. The harsh reality is that the sheer impact of Eala's ball striking was so relentless that it literally overwhelmed Gauff's nervous system during that opening set. One elite sports surgeon was reportedly overheard mentioning that they had never seen a professional athlete's body react with such intense trauma from baseline pressure alone. Eala's shots are being described as impossibly heavy, pushing a world-class athlete like Gauff into a state of physical crisis. Her arm reportedly felt as though it were on fire, as if a literal firework had been detonated deep within her muscle fibers. This goes beyond a simple injury. It is a biological confirmation that the power coming from the other side of the net was simply too much for the human body to handle. It serves as a stark admission that Eala's game operates on a level that defies standard physical processing. However, the most intense development has moved from the doctor's office directly into the corporate boardrooms of the Women's Tennis Association. Reports are surfacing that a massive global sponsor, a brand that has dominated tennis marketing for decades, has just issued a $10 million ultimatum. They have directed this high-stakes threat directly at the leadership of the professional tennis circuit. Sources indicate these sponsors are furious because the establishment tried to downplay Alex's total dominance by calling it a lucky break. These corporate titans reportedly informed officials that the narrative regarding Alex Eala must change immediately. They declared that if Alex Eala is not recognized as the undisputed face of the sport, they will terminate their contracts and move those $10 million to the Philippines. This massive ultimatum has terrified the corporate decision-makers who now realize they can no longer keep this talent in the shadows. They cannot hope to suppress a player who has not only defeated the world number 4, but also has a nation of over 100 million people standing behind her. The pride of the Philippines has officially become the primary economic engine, preventing the tournament's financial structure from failing. Inside the exclusive player lounge, the tension has reached an absolute breaking point among the tour's elite. While some envious rivals tried to diminish Alex's achievement by whispering that the victory was gifted to her, a powerful voice intervened. Jessica Pegula, a billionaire in her own right and now a staunch ally of Alex, reportedly shut down those rumors instantly. Witnesses claim that Pegula stood before the top 10 players and told them point-blank that Alex did not get lucky. She insisted that Alex systematically dismantled her opponent and challenged anyone else to try and handle that explosive forehand. She warned them not to try and hide the truth just because they are intimidated by her sudden rise to the top. This fierce defense from the world's wealthiest player has effectively made Alex Eala untouchable within the professional circuit. The psychological impact on social media has now surged past 650 million impressions, as fans use the hashtag #TheProblem to mock the nervous establishment. Even the billionaire owner of the tournament, Larry Ellison, has reportedly taken full notice of this seismic shift in the sport's power dynamics. Reports are circulating that Ellison has personally intervened, instructing his elite marketing team to scrap their original promotional strategies. Instead, he has ordered the production of a high-impact tribute film for Alex Eala to be broadcast on the massive stadium screens before her next match. The established system is in a state of total chaos because they realize they can no longer suppress the talent nurtured at the Nadal Academy. As the massive wave of information continues to surge, one veteran analyst summarized the situation with perfect clarity. They remarked that the physical distress in Gauff's arm was merely a warning sign of the power Eala was truly wielding. The explosive arrival of Alex Eala is set to systematically dismantle every single standing record in the history of the Women's Tennis Association. The intense atmosphere within the Indian Wells Performance Center has reached a boiling point following the news of the sponsor's ultimatum. While the international media remains in a state of shock over the financial battle happening behind closed doors, another event occurred. A major confrontation just took place near the practice courts that has shattered any remaining sense of peace in the player locker rooms. Reports are surfacing that Aryna Sabalenka, the world's most formidable power hitter known as the Tiger, sought out the new challenger. She found herself in a direct and tense standoff with the young star from the Philippines, the one they are now calling the Dragon. Witnesses say the entire gymnasium went completely silent as these two powerhouse athletes locked eyes in a moment of pure intensity. Sabalenka, who had been closely observing Alex's dominant victory over Coco Gauff, chose not to simply walk by. She stopped in her tracks and gave Alex a respectful yet stern acknowledgement, signaling that a new war had begun. This was a monumental moment that has since gone viral, as Sabalenka reportedly delivered a chilling 6-word warning to the newcomer. She told her to be ready because she is not like Coco, a statement that the media is now scrambling to analyze. However, the most striking part of the exchange was Alex's reaction, which she refused to let be influenced by the intimidation attempt. Reports suggest that Alex did not flinch for even a single second during the entire high-stakes encounter. She simply adjusted her wristband, featuring the Philippine flag, and met Sabalenka's gaze with a calm smile that unsettled the veteran's coaching staff. One elite strength coach was overheard saying that while Sabalenka usually intimidates everyone she meets, Alex saw her only as another challenge. The young star effectively neutralized the tension without saying a word, proving that her unwavering composure is her greatest asset. This silent standoff has already generated over 700 million impressions on social media as fans anticipate a massive collision on the court. However, away from the bright lights and the tension of the gym, a much more personal and poignant scene was taking place in private. Eala, feeling the immense weight of the criticism and the massive expectations of her home nation, shared a moment with her mother. This was not a moment of weakness, but rather a profound strengthening of her resolve and her will to win. The wave of support suggests that Alex made a fierce three-word vow to her mother that has since intimidated her future opponents. She reportedly whispered that there would be no more mercy, followed by a single command to bring the fire. This solemn vow serves as a clear indication that Alex is no longer content to just participate in the tournament. She is now playing with the singular goal of seizing the top spot and establishing her own reign over the sport. Her mother watched her with a look of profound pride, realizing that her daughter had permanently incinerated her underdog status to embrace her destiny. The psychological shockwaves currently rippling through the administrative offices of the tennis world have reached a state of total devastation. Reports are breaking that even Rafael Nadal, the legendary king of clay, has been monitoring every single move of his star student from his base in Mallorca. He reportedly sent a high-stakes one-word directive to Alex that has completely sharpened her mental focus for the upcoming round of 16. The message was a simple command to unleash, a word that has struck fear into the heart of her next opponent. Linda Noskova is reportedly feeling the immense weight of the moment, frustrated that the entire tennis world has already crowned Alex as the heavy favorite. Tournament owner Larry Ellison has taken the unprecedented step of ordering a specialized security detail to surround and protect Alex's family during the event. He clearly recognizes that she has become a high-value target for the corporate interests looking to manipulate the future of the sport. One respected sports psychologist noted that while others possess raw power or speed, Alex operates as a true disruptor of the system. They described her as the ultimate system breaker, the only player possessing the absolute composure needed to dismantle the established elite. She is on a path to lead the Philippines to a level of international glory that the sport of tennis has never witnessed before. The quiet stillness of the Indian Wells Desert was shattered precisely at midnight, while the rest of the world was fast asleep. While the global media was still obsessed with the gym confrontation between the veteran stars and the new challenger, a secret was unfolding. Deep within the facility, on the most isolated practice court, a private training session was being conducted far away from prying eyes. Rafael Nadal personally gave the green light for a specialized training routine known internally as the Sun and Stars Drill. This specific program was engineered to systematically break down the heavy-hitting patterns of the top 5 players in the world. The routine forced Alex to master high-altitude defensive lobs, followed by aggressive, flat winners that left no room for error. These drills were performed under intense strobe lighting, designed to replicate the chaotic energy and pressure of a championship night session. Onlookers reported that Alex pushed herself through 3 consecutive hours of high-intensity training under the desert moon. Her focus was so sharp and her intensity so high that she went through 12 full cans of tennis balls in that single session. A veteran groundskeeper who has watched the legends practice for 20 years remarked that the speed of Alex's swing was unlike anything he had ever seen. It was clear that she was no longer merely practicing, but was instead remapping her entire physical response system for total domination. Her ultimate goal is to shatter the current hierarchy and claim her rightful place at the very top of the world rankings. The most dramatic confrontation of the day took place inside the tournament's main office just as the sun began to rise. A high-ranking official attempted to stifle the energy of the Pinoy army by proposing a noise restriction for all of Alex's future matches. They argued that the deafening support from the Filipino fans was intimidating the seeded players and creating an unfair environment. However, they failed to account for the fact that the most influential players would stand up for the fans. Jessica Pegula, upon learning of the attempt to silence the crowd, took it upon herself to challenge the tournament leadership directly. She engaged in a fierce 15-minute debate with the officials that effectively stripped them of their authority on the matter. Pegula made it clear that trying to silence the most passionate fans in the sport would be an insult to the game itself. She warned them that by attempting to muffle the Pinoy army, they were effectively incinerating the very soul and future of the tournament. She insisted that these fans are not just making noise, they are the literal heartbeat of Indian Wells. This high-stakes defense from the world's wealthiest player has left the corporate decision-makers in a state of absolute panic. They realized they could not intimidate a young woman who had both the global elite and Larry Ellison acting as her personal protectors. The digital explosion on social media has now reached 750 million impressions across the globe. Fans from Manila to Queens are celebrating Pegula's unwavering loyalty to the rising star they call the Dragon. Even Larry Ellison was reportedly seen looking absolutely furious with his own staff for even considering a ban on fan noise. He realized that Eala is the singular reason why the acoustic energy in the stadium has reached an all-time high. Reports indicate that Ellison has now ordered the installation of high-powered speakers to amplify the crowd experience instead of suppressing it. One expert marketing analyst whispered that the establishment tried to silence her, but only succeeded in destroying their own outdated rules. The psychological impact within the exclusive player areas has been massive as the top 10 stars realize the shift is permanent. They are reportedly frustrated because they see that Alex is now completely untouchable both during the match and behind the scenes. With the secret training session complete and the administrative interference silenced, the pride of the Philippines has officially taken over. The Dragon is fully armed, the officials have been overruled, and the Queen is ready to deliver the final strike. The atmosphere inside the Indian Wells Tennis Garden reached a state of intense energy at exactly 7 p.m. as the sun began to set. While the international media machine was still reeling from the news of Pegula's intervention, the reality of the situation became clear. The beginning of the Eala era was finally confirmed in a poignant 10-second moment that the world was not expecting to see. As Eala prepared to walk out onto the court for her high-stakes match, her phone buzzed with one final and crucial notification. It was reportedly a private video message sent directly from Coco Gauff, who was resting in her medical suite after the emergency surgery. The data suggests that Gauff, looking brave despite her arm being in a medical brace, gave Alex a final and fierce instruction. She told her with total conviction to go out there and dominate the field. This symbolic passing of the torch has effectively removed any lingering doubt within the professional locker room. Witnesses claim that Alex looked at the screen, took a deep breath of the desert air, and made a promise to play for her flag. She whispered a single word of intent, fire, as she prepared to step into the spotlight. The psychological energy inside the stadium was overwhelming as the Dragon finally emerged from the tunnel to face her opponent. As she walked toward the baseline, 16,000 fans led by the Pinoy Army began a chant that shook the entire valley. The sound was so massive that it reportedly triggered the seismic sensors used to monitor earthquakes in the Coachella region. This was no longer just a sporting event. It had transformed into a full national coronation for the young athlete. Reports suggest that billionaire Larry Ellison, standing beside Rafael Nadal in the private suite, gave his final assessment of the scene. He told the broadcasters that while they were searching for the next big thing, the system had already been completely dismantled. He declared that Eala is not merely the future of the sport, but its dominant present reality, acting as a riddle that no one in the top 10 can solve. This powerful endorsement from the world's most influential tennis owner has permanently shattered the old guard's authority, cementing the fact that the Eala, Nadal, and Pegula alliance is an invincible force. Deep within the high-security VIP operations center, the atmosphere was thick with the realization of a total power shift. The digital wave across social media has officially surpassed 800 million impressions, with the hashtag Eala coronation completely overshadowing every other global trend. The undeniable truth is that the corporate interests who once attempted to suppress her have been forced to humble themselves before her immense influence. They now recognize that the pride and spirit of the Philippines have become the new, unstoppable law governing the world of professional tennis. Even the most hardened and cynical critics are reportedly left fuming in the shadows of the arena. They watched in silence as the Dragon systematically tore through the competition with an icy composure that the sport has not witnessed in decades. From the moment the first ball was struck, the sheer volume of the stadium proved that any doubts about her place at the top had been replaced by an absolute and undeniable reality. The Dragon has claimed her crown, the old system has been completely dismantled, and her true power has finally been unleashed. In the very heart of the California desert, a new queen has officially and rightfully ascended to her throne. The established stars are paralyzed by the shift. The billionaires are standing in applause, and the force of Eala is now officially and sovereignly unstoppable. This chapter is closed. A new era has officially begun, and Pinoy power has been established as the new gold standard for the entire world.